This is 𝘿𝙧 Performance Plus Physical Therapy. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, guys. Today is moving by. The days and the weeks are moving by so fast. And I am continuing my Q&A with Dr. D series. Okay, and today we are talking about all things involving the lower back. Just getting set up here on Instagram. 1 second, guys. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. Always a challenge to go through. And there we go. Make sure that everything is set up simultaneously. So thank you for your patience. There we go. There we go. Just pin that comment there on Instagram. Hi guys on Instagram. Hey Mateen. Hey 𝘿𝙧. How are you? Hi everyone on Facebook. How everyone is doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. So guys, today's question I'm going to be talking about is what's the best way for you to sit when you're having back pain? And this actually is a very common question that I've been getting recently, since everyone is home with COVID-19, guys, from the coronavirus, and everyone is now at home. A lot of people who do not work from home are now forced to be in a position where they are working from home. And in that situation, a lot of people are not set up correctly in terms of the correct sitting posture to prevent either neck pain or back pain. So I've been getting a lot of people actually coming at me and asking me questions about, well, what can I do to help with this? So your chair setup, guys, is so important in terms of making sure that you are putting your back in a relatively neutral position that's going to allow you to sit in one position for a long time. Sitting and standing counts as those activities that we don't really think about, but our posture and the way that we do it can actually allow you to develop muscle imbalances and actual strains to your muscles that will build up over time and will actually expose you to some sort of injury or some sort of issue with the lower back. It's very common for a lot of people to have lower back pain where they sit on certain surfaces. And you guys, for those guys that have experienced that, you're going to see that there's certain commonalities. If it's a really hard surface, it's painful, or if it's a really soft surface, it's really painful. Okay. Hey, Elsa, how are you doing? All right. So things that you guys want to be aware of, what I'm going to go through with you guys today is setting up your office chair, which you can see I have a little bit of an office chair here. So a couple of things that you want to be aware of, guys. You want to set up your office chair to a situation where it's fitted to your body for the most part. Most office chairs are adjustable. So if you have not gotten an office chair, make sure that you have something that is adjustable. And there's certain things that you want to make sure that line up for you to have the best positioning so that when you're sitting at the computer and you're typing for a long time during the day, that you're not having a lot of pain. Okay. So I'm going to turn a little bit this way so you guys can see that I'm sitting in this office chair. Okay. And I'm just going to tip this camera down just a tiny bit, hoping that people on Facebook can also see me. Okay. Yeah, I think you guys can see me. So the first thing that you want to adjust, guys, is the height. And there's this lever here that can either bring the chair down, or in this chair can bring it all the way up. Okay. And for the height, you want to make sure that the chair that you sit, make sure that your feet are supported. That's really important, to make sure that that your legs are not pulling your weight forward, and that changes the position of your lumbar spine. So if you're in a very high chair, for those guys that out there that are pretty short, you want to make sure that you put something underneath your feet to support your feet. The second thing in terms of choosing an office chair is that you want something that for the most part supports your legs, okay? So your legs are actually a pretty significant part of the weight of your body. And if it is not supported, it can actually pull your spine out of alignment. So for that reason, you want to have at least a couple of inches, maybe about 2 inches from the back of your knee away from the edge of the seat, so that the seat can actually accommodate the full length of not only your pelvis, but also your legs. The third thing that you want to make sure is that the seat is actually lined up this way, in a straight way. Some seats that you will see have a little bit of a dump. That's very common, which means it's tilted back. And that's very common in car seats, those very luxury cars where you guys are kind of leaning back that way. You would see that it's very dumped that way. Or some seats are actually able to be tilted that way. Ideally, you want your seat to be level as possible, but sometimes it may require you to change the angle of the seat so that it allows your pelvis and also your lower back to be in the best position. So you can see here that my seat is pretty flat, okay? There's not a lot of a change in terms of the angulation back or the angulation forward. And then when we're looking at the hand armrest, you want to make sure that your armrests are at a relatively 90-degree angle. So you can see here for this, on my body, I have pretty long legs and a shorter upper body. But you can see that this, like ideally, if I would love this, I would love this to be a little bit lower down. As I place my elbows here, I'm actually in a little bit of a shrugged position. So a little bit lower would a little bit be ideal for my positioning if I were to be sitting at a table or at a desk that I can do my computer work at, okay? And then in terms of the lower back, that's always a tricky part. A lot of these chairs, guys, are built in with a built-in lumbar support. And you can see this is not particularly adjustable in the chair that I have here. So it leans me back this way. So if I were to actually sit forward and mimic what this chair is doing, it's actually putting me back at that angle. So my shoulders are actually behind my pelvis, which is not the best alignment for me. So a tip that you guys can do is you can get a towel. I have this little bit of a foam roll insert here, and you can use this and put it right here at just underneath your shoulder blades right here, guys. And when you sit all the way back, you will see that it now puts me, if you can look at me from the side, at a little bit more of an anatomical angle where my shoulders are directly over my pelvis. I have a little bit of a space here at my lumbar spine, which means that my spine is now stacked one on top of the other. This is a way better position for me. And actually in this position, my arms no longer feel like I'm up here because I'm not leaned back as much, okay? So this is a better positioning for you that you can make sure that your lumbar spine is in a nice, comfortable, neutral position. For you guys who do not have something like this, you can use a towel. Here I have a towel. You want to get a hand towel, just fold that in half that way, and then you just want to roll it down this way, okay? When it's compressed, you want to make sure that it has at least about 2 inches in terms of its diameter. And again, place that right at the base of your shoulder blades. And this one, I actually need a little bit more correction. But again, that's going to put you in a little bit of an more upright position so you're not leaning back into that nice dump position, okay? This also has implications, guys, for your cervical spine, and we'll talk more about that next week. But again, if you lean back this way, you can see that my head is not supported. If I am typing on a computer, you can see that my head is actually forward from my shoulders. So in an ideal world, you actually want to be back that way. And of course, we don't hang our back this way. That's uncomfortable for our neck. We're going to bring our heads forward so that we can look at the screen. So over time, that's going to be something that's going to be a problem for your cervical spine. But again, we'll dive a little bit more into that next week, okay? So a little bit of a summary for you guys. Hey, some more people joining us here. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Chai, how are you? All right, so a little bit of a summary here, guys. There are a couple of things that you want to look for when you are sitting for a long period of time. The chair that you are sitting on has to be supportive, and it has to be fit as much as possible. If we're talking about an office chair, it has to be fit more to your proportions. You want to make sure that your feet are on the floor. That's very important. You want to make sure that the seat of the chair accommodates the length of your legs as much as possible. Just about 2 inches away from the back of your knees is where you want it at. You want to make sure that that chair is angled neutrally versus being angled back or angled forward. And again, for most office chairs, again, that has this lovely built-in lumbar support, you do want to accommodate that to make sure that your shoulders are directly stacked above your pelvis by using some sort of towel or another device. For you guys, there are devices out there that you can buy like this that's going to allow you to really stack things up and get you into a more neutral position with your spine. Things like these, guys, are really going to be able to protect your spine over longevity and allow you to sit for a longer time, do your office work with a longer time without having lumbar spine pain, but also not having neck pain. Okay? Any questions, guys? This was a little bit more of a demonstration than it was more of a conversation. But anyone has any questions? Hey, David, how are you? Any questions for you guys, from you guys, in terms of how you're doing with your sitting? Any questions about that? Drop it in the comments for me. Comment live if you are here live. Comment replay if you are catching me on the replay. No comments, no questions. I hope that was very nice and laid out for you guys. And there's so many questions that people are having right now in terms of getting into great seating positions when now that you're having to work from home. It's very, very important. So guys, really make sure that you get a quality chair. I'm not a big fan of the very, very elaborate, expensive chairs that are $300. I don't think that's necessary. I do think that you really need to make sure that you're getting something that adjusts to your body proportions. That's very, very important. Very, very short people and very, very tall people are usually the ones that struggle the most because you guys usually don't have chairs that are made for you, but it is very possible for you guys, the rest of you guys, with a little bit of adjustment to make sure that the chair is really suited for you. So 𝘿𝙧 says, I had to get a gel cushion, good or bad? It depends. Unfortunately, there's not a fast or good answer for that. Depending on how soft the gel cushion is, 𝘿𝙧, what you're going to get is that you want to make sure that it's supporting your spine and supporting your pelvis the right way. So with this particular chair that I'm sitting on right now, it's relatively firm. It doesn't have a lot of cushion, but it's not very heavy, okay, in terms of how slinky or how soft it is. Now, is that a good thing for me? Yes, because my pelvis needs a little bit of stability and support. When you're sitting for a long time, you actually want the support that you're getting through your legs and through your sit bones at the base of your pelvis to be really supported by that material. If you have something that's very soft or very foam, it means that it's now going to sink in. You're not going to be able to maintain that alignment. And that now means that your lumbar spine is going to start getting into that nice curved position, which it does not like for a period of time. It feels great at the time, but over a period of time, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, specifically if you are predisposed to having lower back pain, not a great idea. So don't go so much by the material. There are some materials that are just not fantastic. So memory foam for a seated position, again, it all depends. But if it is something that does not offer you support, then you're going to struggle with this over time. It feels good in the beginning because it's nice and soft, and we generally like soft surfaces. But support is what you're most interested in terms of getting something to support your lower back and your pelvis and your legs. I hope that answered your question. Yeah. Any other questions that's going on out there? I'm going to look at Facebook. That seems all good. Any other questions on IG? I hope this was helpful, guys. Good. Glad I answered your question. I hope this was helpful. If you have extra comments, let me know. Drop some messages in my inbox. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have for you. Tomorrow, guys, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to be talking with a very special guest. I'm very excited about it. This is a friend of mine that works in the same area that I do, downtown DC. He's a chiropractor. So we're going to be talking about how to deal with our different approaches in terms of how we handle treatments for the lumbar spine. And I think it would have been interesting to get another medical perspective in terms of how we can actually help you guys get over a lot of the pain and the issues that you guys are having. So look out for that, guys. It should be around 5:30 tomorrow, but I will post it up either in IG stories or on my Facebook page. So you'll get a little bit more information about when that is happening and a little bit more background on my guests. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Have a good one. Bye.